out here to find, but at least it appears I found one high conductive target, but it's a 39, so that doesn't, it's kind of an unusual number. I tend to get 38s and 40s, so well, that might be why it's an unusual number. That looks like that might be a ring. I think I've got another ring almost exactly like this. This is a James Avery ring. You know you've been doing metal detecting too long when you can recognize the designer of a silver ring. I think this is a James Avery cross ring. Hey, that is not bad for a tough day of detecting. Rather it been gold, but hell, I will take that anytime. And it was a 39, so quarters usually fall at 38, and at 40 junk. So I wasn't sure what 39 would bring. It looks like it got me a little silver ring. Cool. And here we go. I went out this week with a couple of detectors. I went out with the Deus, and I went out with the Safari. Surprise, surprise, combination there. And was getting too small a subsection of targets. I've said 100 times, I'm sure it's my fault. I tend to hit coins with the Safari. And I tend to hit coins and not other types of objects. I did do a little bit better this week. I did use the Safari for a while, and I think I'm beginning to correct my issues and errors in that particular vein. But here we go. The first 2 days were all XP Deus, and you can see that I got a good selection of unusual targets. I got this, I think, which is like a brass screw on or something that it's knurled so you can screw something in tight. Been a while since I got one of these. There's dirt in it, but I got another Boy Scout or a Scout slide. You know, I don't have many with that design on it. Most of them have the wolf or the bear or the tiger, but so I like getting these when I do hit them. And that was at the park that I found it pretty good. And I have a quarter that's pretty beat up. I might hit it with a baby sledge and see if I can turn it into a more expendable form. Let me get a little closer here so you can see the targets, the things as I bring them out here. And I found a dog tag. It's just what I do with the Deus. I not only found coins, I found random targets, and I got my usual collection of mostly zincs, and then I've got a dime and one regular penny, copper from the looks of it. So that was not a hugely bad run. And then I went out again the next day, and voila, once again with the Deus, and I've got I think this is an electrical conductor type of thing or something. I think it's electrical conductor or something. I know you can screw this on. It's a very weird material, but it's used in some kind of electrical circuit, I'm pretty sure. And then I found another dog tag, and me finding 2 dog tags is extraordinarily rare. I do not find 2 dog tags very often. And I hardly ever find 2 in a week. And then I had a quarter, another dime, and this is a electronic component. A condenser or something very small, so that's pretty cool. So you know, and that's what I expect to get from the Deus, a variety of various targets, and that's why I'm better at getting jewelry when I'm running the Deus. But we'll see how that story holds out for the end of this little vlog. And then I went out again with the Deus, had about, now, these two were about 30-minute sessions each, and this was about a 15 to 30-minute session. This was at lunch, and not all of lunch. I ran out, hit a park, and then realized I had other things to do, had to run errands during lunch, etc. So this was not a heavy usage week. Here's a couple of what I believe are copper pennies. They're pretty old and they're not eating the heck away. And we have another Eaton zinc. And this, when I got this, is a pretty high reading. So I was hoping this might be a huge pendant. It's a letter R. I'm thinking it's a piece of a car branding or a car label. You know, like Charger, you know, whatever. You know, any of the many veins that might Sirocco or any of the many, that's an old brand, but this is an old piece of old R. You know, that's probably what that is. So that was nothing too amazing. So that was my my hunt, and the very present. I hit a crap load of these aluminum screw caps, a lot of them. And then I went out today, and you see all these pennies here. And let me move this to the center here. All of these pennies here, and you say, what's all these shiny pennies doing? No, I'm not faking anything. If you'll notice the little cedar chips, etc., or I'm not exactly sure what they put in these tot lots, but I assume some kid had a major penny pocket spill, and he probably might have been called by mom or dad and had to let him lay there. So this was probably one of my biggest spills ever in number of coins, just underneath the surface of the wooden chips, you know. So, and this was the saving grace. It is a sterling silver ring. It's a sterling silver cross ring. I'm not sure how well that's showing up. Not great light here. But it's a James Avery. I recognized it because I found at least one other of these. I've got up in a container not too far from here. So I've had at least one other of these James Avery cross rings. So I recognized it. But I did check it with the jeweler's loop, and it says it has the candelabra that indicates James Avery, the JA, and then STR underneath. So that was a nice little cap off to the hunt.